Now, there's growing concern about the emotional and physical well-being of some of these children separated from their parents. For more on that, let's turn to Dr. Ann Rosen Spector. She's a psychologist who focuses on trauma and recovery. She joins me from Philadelphia. Dr. Spector, what kind of trauma are these children experiencing?
Children fear more than anything else abandonment. And for these children, especially because they're being taken in a hostile and abrupt way, they are being abandoned by their parents. Nobody's explaining to them what's happening. Many people don't speak their language. And so this feeds into their most basic fear of being abandoned by their parents.
So are these facilities, as far as you know, bringing in people who speak the language, experts like yourself who know how to deal in these types of sensitive situations to talk to these kids? And we should add, these kids are range in age. And of course, that makes a difference in how to talk to them.
I don't think anybody is being brought in as a mental health professional. And one wonders about people, including the President of the United States, whether he understands the attachment of one person to another. We never see the President of the United States hugging his child, Barron, or his grandchildren. So does he understand attachment? Because these children have been detached from their parents with no explanation. It's just a horrible, horrible situation.
So how do you begin? Let's say they will eventually let some of these medical professionals in, therapists, to talk to these children. How do you begin to offer comfort?
Well, first of all, you have to make sure that the people speak the language of the children, and then there's really very little that you can say unless you can give them a time when they're going to be reunited. We don't even know if siblings are being kept together. So that children are being taken away from their parents, they're taken away from their family. And remember, these children didn't take a trip to Disney World. Getting to the border was already pretty traumatic. Imagine what their life was like, that their parents thought that they had to get away from El Salvador, Nicaragua, Ecuador to get to the United States. So these children have already been traumatized, and look what we're doing to them. It's shameful and horrible.
And when families are broken up like this, what about the impact on the parents as well? I mean, if someone tried to take my children away, I don't know what I would do.
I can't even imagine. I'm a mother and a grandmother, and if somebody, I would kill for somebody to do that to me. But remember, one of the basic things that holds parents and families and children together is trust. And having been ripped away from their parents once, how can these children really, really trust that that will never happen again? It's a shameful, shameful day in our country.
And finally, Dr. Spector, talk to me about the long-term health consequences in terms of anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder from, number one, being in detention, and number two, not knowing when or how you're going to see your parents again.
All of that is true, and we don't know how long these children are going to be in horrible situations. We don't know how to explain to them that they're going to be safe at any time. That's what children want, safety and consistency and stability. And these children haven't had it up until now, and we've just made it worse. Remember, a lot of it is going to have to do with the age of the child. If you take away a pre-verbal child, how can you possibly explain this?
And if the child is older, do you think there will be a long-term emotional impact?
It has to be a very long-term emotional impact to know that they are always going to be safe again and to trust people in uniform. The whole thing is just, it's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace that anybody can treat anybody's children this way.
Dr. Ann Spector, thank you so much.